So in the most recent update, there were two new magic cards added. One for melee damage decrease, one for range damage decrease. We're going to talk about what these are, how else you can get them in the game, and how you can test what is considered melee or ranged. Let's get into it. Alright, first we're going to talk about the cards themselves. Then we're going to look at other ways you can get this stat, the melee damage or range damage decrease if you want both or just want to focus on one, as well as then we'll go over a really cool way in game. Anytime you want, you can check out what's going on. The only times that you wouldn't be able to is if this boss monster is currently in hiding. So if we take a look, I have personally a rank 1 version of this card. You can see I'm getting 7.9% range damage decrease. If you go into the card codex, it only ever shows it at full grade, so you see this is grade 7. 9.5 is the scale, so 3 or 4 you'll be in the 8s. But I like going off of my starter, a 1 star, a grade 1, 7.9. That's one way to get this stat. Then we have the very next way, which is Urs, which does melee, and Volstagg, which does ranged. When you bring them up to 5-star companion, you get half of this number. So a little over 2.5 you'll have of the range damage decrease. And then when you go from 5 to 6, the rares do not get a extra stat. They double their current stat. So they become 5.15. So if we're looking at 5.15 and then our starter 7.9, we're looking okay now. Then we're gonna look at fully nanoed regional versus specials. So right here we have Dark Domain, full 6-star. It's giving 5.7, and then if we look at Steampunk, 10.6. Not fully double, but almost double the actual decrease. And then for comparison, we're looking at the same damage for ranged versus ranged. There's some other obvious point number differences. We have 910 defense, 22.5, 800. So the actual defense and defense percentage is still, that's not 10%, but roughly in that range. But this jump, the nano fusion stats, is astronomical for the ranged and melee damage decrease. Talking about in game, I see the Demon Bear a lot. I've been farming him because he has the only card, Omega card, that I do not have. But if you look at this blue circle around him, he has this little icon right here on his icon bar. I clicked that icon bar, and as you can see, range damage decrease. Unfortunately, we do not know the number of his range damage decrease, but as you can still see, it's kind of hard to see with the ground that he's on. It's a lot easier on this one, but that is the circle. So melee damage and range damage is not classified by the range of the skill, but instead by the range you are from the target. So if I, let's say, use Spin Blade, puts me on top of the target, I have to slash through them, it will deal melee damage because I am myself within melee range. But when we have abilities like guided missiles, the 16-shot barrage, I can either shoot it from where I'm standing, which would be range, or I can step within his circle, and that would be considered melee. I've tested this for the last week straight. I've been doing 3 or 4 spawns of him a day, just to mess with this circle range. I can only say this is what my damage looks like it's doing. I can't do perfect testing because I don't have a lot of max damage rate. as well as my defenses. It's hard to tell because I don't know what the bear's max damage rate is, things like that. So doing damage to him or damage coming from him is kind of hard to track, but it seems to be this is what's going on because this circle around him is only up when the range damage decrease effect is on. Let me know in the comments down below if you thought this was helpful and if there's anything else you would like me to jump into next time. See you guys.